Hey y'all, so have a couple little garden chores that need to get done. Tommy and I went to the nursery about an hour ago actually, and we just had a big thunderstorm come through. So we got about an inch of rain, and we were down at the nursery trying to get the things that we needed, and it was pouring there. So we got everything, and some people down there thought we were crazy. We actually just misjudged the weather a little bit, but hey, it got done, and we are getting ready to plant some things in the front. So I'm going to replace some perennials that we lost after last season, and then I got some pentas for the annuals. So in the last video, I asked about some opinions on annuals up for the front, and I'm really far behind up there. I'm probably about 2 or 3 weeks behind getting the summer annuals done up there. So I got some pentas because you might have seen, let me see, right over here, you can see that we have some pentas in the hanging baskets, and they've done really, really well. So we got a mix up front, but let me just flip around my camera. I'll show you what we got for some perennial replacements, and then the pentas that we got for up front. I will be doing a garden tour in the front and the back here pretty soon. We've just been really busy. We've been in and out of town, and I haven't had the front completely done and like I wanted it, so I have refrained from the tour, but we will get that up as soon as possible. So let's just flip around really quick and I'll show you what I got for perennial replacement and annuals. So I'm excited about this blue fescue. So usually I get Elijah blue fescue, but they had, so Markham's in Goldsby, in case you're local, Markham's in Goldsby has a ton of ornamental grasses. And we went down there today because they're the only place that I can find that carries dwarf bunny grass, and I needed some replacements for up front. But while I was there, I found this X Cool is Ice fescue, and it is more blue than your typical Elijah fescue. It has more of an upright growth pattern, and it is, let's see here if I can get this to focus, zones 4 through 8, 8 to 12 inches high and wide, and obviously it's fescue, so you'll want to have some well-draining soil, but I really like this. Let's see if I can get one isolated up here. So you might, if you're familiar with Elijah fescue, it kind of gets really tall and droops over, and this probably will do the same when it gets a little bit bigger, but not quite as drastic. So this was a lot more blue than the Elijah blue fescue, so I'm going to try that back here because I have, doesn't look as blue compared to the fescue, but these HISEA and hostas, which I need more of, a lot more of. If you are local and you know a Lowe's that has about the $5.50 small HISEA and hostas, please let me know, because I need some more to finish this over here, and then I need some for over here as well. But because I have this blue mixed in here in the shade, I'm also getting ready to go pick up some boxwoods for that. But I need a lot of blue back here for sun, so that fescue should be just about perfect for that. And let's just go up front and I'll show you. So Tommy's already got the trash can out because I had failed to rip up some pansies the last time I was out here, but I did get a mix of pentas. So some are red, which I don't typically do. Tommy talked me into that. Some red, some white, some lavender-ish pentas, and we'll kind of mix those in. These lavender ones are much bigger than these over here, so I'm going to try to save these lavender ones for the pots in the back if I can help it. And then got little dwarf bunny grass for the replacements up here. I really like this. This is a very short growing and compact form with the pretty seed heads. So zones 6 through 9, 10 to 12 inches tall and wide. And I think the reason I lost some of these last year is because they didn't have enough water going into winter, and they weren't quite established enough, because if you remember, we planted these late last year going into winter. And then I lost the pink muley grasses that we had up there, so I snagged some more of those. Those are quite a bit smaller than the ones that we have up there right now, but 24 to 36 inches, 24 to 36 tall. And then you'll know that those have the pink here, this is a good picture actually. The pink seed heads on them, really, really pretty. In that space that I have them over there, they get really good afternoon light and they're really pretty. And these are something that I absolutely did not need, but they were lavender bubbles ornamental alliums. And I've never seen this specific variety, so I snagged 3 of these, zones 4 through 8, 12 to 14 inches tall and wide. And that's pretty much it. So I am going to get started up here on getting some things replaced and then getting the annuals planted. These are the pink muley grasses that need to be replaced, and I really liked the way these looked here last year. They catch that afternoon sun, and the seed heads are that really pretty magenta pink color. So we are going to replace these. They're going to be much smaller, but hopefully they'll have plenty of time to get established before this winter comes. They're kind of on this slope hill, so they don't get a ton of water. The water just kind of runs off. So again, I think these, like the dwarf bunny grass, got a little bit dry, but we're gonna get these replaced, and let's hope they make it through the winter.
Yep, not rooted in at all.
Huh.
Those are
And here is some little dwarf bunny grass that didn't make it from last year. So this one and about probably 6 to 8 others are about to get replaced. I like these enough to try again. They are zone 6 to 9, so technically they should make it here. But as I mentioned earlier, I just don't think that I gave them enough moisture. They were actually kind of rooted in. You can see when I tore there that it was somewhat rooted in, but it just didn't make it. So I like these enough to give them a second shot. If they don't make it through this winter, we'll go to plan B. Here's a good look at one of the dwarf bunny grasses that did really well. And this is, this is 8 to 12 high already. So really this is its mature height. It'll put some seed heads on and add a little bit of textural interest, but you can see it's not even hardly over that rock. So if you're looking for a really small dwarf ornamental grass, little dwarf bunny grass is a great one, zone 6 through 9. So 2 more here, and then this Veronica right here I need to transplant. So you can see that there is a Mr. Goodbud sedum right here, right there, and a small one right there. It's a little bit behind, but I planted this Veronica when the larkspur and the Minoan lace were still in place, and I don't like it there. It looks out of place, and so I'm going to probably move it just up there a little bit as well.
You always put some of those bigger pink ones in here too.
Yeah. Hi. All right, well, we got everything transplanted and replaced. I'm very happier with the placement of some of the Veronica. I did move one sedum as well, but I also transplanted the yews that I had been talking about transplanting for a while now. I just hadn't got around to doing it, and I decided while it was overcast and rainy today, I would go ahead and do that. So not a great time to be transplanting kind of the larger structural plants. But if you're okay with losing something potentially, I will obviously water these every couple of days because it's getting ready to get hot. But if I lose them, it's not the end of the world. I didn't want them where they were in the first place, so I decided to go ahead and take the risk. But let me just flip around and I will show you what we transplanted and then what we replaced, and then we'll get to planting the annuals. All right, so I got this sedum transplanted. This sedum was up here. I had transplanted, or I had planted that sedum in the interim because I couldn't find any of the little dwarf bunny grass. But now that I have those back, I like them flanking the back of that rock. Now we have the trio of sedum here, and I think it just looks a little bit better. I transplanted those salvias that are right there. And then I transplanted a Veronica, a couple Veronicas actually, but one of the Veronicas I transplanted is, where did I put it? One's right there. Transplanted another sedum right there. Here are the two yews that I transplanted, and it finally fills in that space. I wasn't able to find that variety of yew at the garden center, so that's another reason why I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and transplant. One of the Veronica came from here, and now we have that nice trio of sedum there. The sedum will get quite a bit larger, so I wanted to give that room to grow. And then this Artemisia right here will fill in. I cut this back hard last week. It was looking a little rough, so I just decided to go ahead and cut it back. I need to cut back some of the salvia. This is the birthday party sedum. Really like the growth habit on this. It's kind of a short mounding sedum. It doesn't get real tall. I can't remember the specs exactly on this variety, but it is birthday party sedum. The other sedum that I am talking about that is down there is Mr. Goodbud, which I also like a lot. The birthday party has a lot more of a lime green color, and the Mr. Goodbud has more of a silvery blue color. This is somewhere else that I did have a dwarf bunny grass at one point, and I replaced it with this sedum in the interim, but I do like that sedum there, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it. It's also doing really well. So now I am going to get some of this transplanted stuff watered in, and then I'm going to come down here and get these pentas put in place. Let's get these pentas planted. All right, got everything checked off the list up here in the front. Got, I think it was 8 little bunny dwarf fountain grasses in. Got 3 pink muley grasses, a lot of pentas, and then got a lot of things transplanted that needed to be transplanted. So let me flip around really quick. Not super impressive right now. The pentas obviously need to put on some size and some color, but I'm looking forward to getting some color back up here after removing the larkspur and the Minoan lace. It'll be pinks, light pinks, lavenders, reds, and whites. So because I was so late getting these annuals, I just got what they had left, so there'll be a mix of colors, but I think they'll be pretty nonetheless. I planted them in 3s, and so they'll be more like a mounding habit of color, if you will. So here's a look. 3 there, 3 over here. The birthday party sedum is getting ready to burst into bloom, and I'm excited about that. That's a really pretty pink, like a lavender pinkish color, very similar to this Nemorosa Rose Marvel Salvia. The little lime hydrangeas are getting ready to bust out into bloom, so we're getting close to being really colorful up here. We're just not quite there. Another trio here. We got some over here, right back there. A little bit of color up front. This gets a little more shade than everything else, so we'll see how those perform. Planted a trio right here. Tucked some up here. Here's the 3 little dwarf bunny grasses, another bunny grass, and then pretty much the the little dwarf bunny is a border type grass. So if you're looking for something low growing like that, it's perfect, at least for zones. I think, what did I say earlier? 6 through 9? Yeah, 6 through 9. So overall, pretty happy with it. Just ready to see a little bit of color. I have been struggling with this lamb's ear. This one's lamb's ear down here, which is very interesting. It does get drier down here. So I think it just got a little bit dry, but I cut it back. It's still alive. It's gonna need to push a lot of new growth. And this is one of my favorite lamb's ears. So it's a really tough Oklahoma plant here, so it'll bounce back pretty quickly, I assume, with a little bit of help from me hand watering it. But I'll be up here hand watering a lot of these annuals until they kind of get established, so I'll take care of those while I'm at it. But that is it for up front. Let me take you back to the back really quick, and I'll show you what we have left to plant back there, and that'll be it for this video. And this is everything we have left to plant back here. So this is the fescue that I referred to earlier. I have this Everillo carex that needs to go right here. Again, getting a hedge of boxwoods for here and another one for right there, so that that plot matches the other two that are on the other side. I have some yarrow that I picked up, and then some of these autumn ferns will be going over here in this right here. So I'm going to be planting some autumn fern all along the back there, and then I'll be getting some more of these halcyon hostas to kind of fill in that space as well. But still have the allium I need to plant. I don't know if those are going to go up front or back here. The pentas, I got specifically this color for some pots that are over there because they match what's in the hanging baskets. I had a couple of the little bunnies left over, but we'll still have plenty to plant back here. But I think the next video after this one will probably be just kind of a little bit of a garden tour. It looks really pretty back here right now because it just rained, but tell me you'll get the grass trimmed up, and then I will do a garden tour video. But that is all that I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. And if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe. Bye.